Wi-Fi connection line. I'm taking a picture of this. This is so good.
Good evening.
Hello. With the most random intro you could possibly imagine. Waits for us to go live and then comes out with that. Anyway, hi. Yes, we're back. Another day, another episode of the Statrcast. Jimmy, I do appreciate that you kind of got that naming together. But anyway, go on. This week, the last 2 weeks, the league is broken. The league is fixed. The league is crazy, and you're all a big bag of dicks. Jimmy, explain yourself.
Bags of dicks. What have we had in the last fortnight? We've had a brief new leader at the top of the league, but
every time.
But that didn't last long. About 24 hours, I think it was. Very handsome one. And we have a new clear at the bottom team, which is Kim's Killian Me Softly, named for Kylian Mbappe, who has, of course, always been Kim's boyhood hero. What else have we had?
We had spilling that wine.
We've had some minor legal precedents being set.
Oh, the league is on fire. Everybody has been raging after each other. We've had
my favorite time of the year, the annual league apocalypse, when everything just gets thrown into disarray and just creates history, mate, really.
And you know what? It started way earlier than usual this year with the league shithousery, and it's because of Jack and Jimi being the worst henchman ever, Dean being the worst henchman ever, and Jack just generally being a fucking terrorist.
In my defense, I wasn't a henchman to anyone other than myself when I decided to see if there was a rule against doing. I checked, and there wasn't, but I was wrong because I didn't check well enough. So I attempted to play a zero defender bench, which was so myself dropping stinky old Joachim Anderson for glorious Jamie Vardy. At which point our newest member, after a whole evening of both of you clowns failing to prove me wrong, our newest member stepped in with a handy screenshot and went, "No, here's where you said you can't do that, Jim." And it was not good because I was staring down the barrel of some creative punishments. There was talk of 0 points. There was talk of points deductions. There was talk of being forced to wear a MAGA hat to work yesterday. But thankfully, the same guy who pushed me down the stairs was somehow there to catch me at the bottom and made a last-minute trade of the rather, I think, a really good prospect, Konate for Liverpool, in return for a player I've had a lot of history with, which is Mateta from Palace, who finished my league championship run last year. And that's cool. That's kind of the story. There was a lot of objectioning and a lot of shouting along the way, as there tends to be in the 10-man discussion, 10-person discussion. But I think what we've all learned here is that Jack is able to be at the top and the bottom of the stairs at the same time. And I don't know his long-term plans, but I am suddenly terrified.
I know his long-term plans. One is to fuck off Dean because Dean's annoyed him. And Dean, I hope you're prepared for when he spanks you this week, that there is some stuff ready and waiting for you. But also, the other thing is, I sent him a message. I sent him a message a couple weeks ago saying, because he wanted Kobe Manu off me and didn't want to do a fair trade, as is the history of the league. And I sent him a message going, you know what, you can watch me from the playoffs while you're sitting at the bottom. So his long-term plan is to annoy Dean as much as possible and to finish above me in the table. That's his mission for the season.
So that's why he's in my inbox every day trying to poach my fucking team.
He's baby Gary.
He's 6 points behind you.
Yeah.
He has outscored you for total points. You're both W1 on form. I'm betting on Jack here.
Me too.
Yeah, I had a bad week. He beat me
I'm
last
betting on
week.
Jack because he's relentless.
Yeah, he beat me last week, sure.
He did.
But yeah, I mean, like, I completely bottled with my team. Like Van de Ven, I started him. He was injured. I knew he was injured because I played him in the other fantasy. Or I took him off the bench. But anyway, Diaz didn't get any minutes. Baliba was injured. I just really completely screwed.
You had a poor week.
It's just one of those weeks. I think I brought on Jimenez. And then that, I was just like, oh, I'll do it, whatever, during the week, and you just forget to
I have fallen arse backwards into a rather decent team over the last couple of weeks. My trade with Dave for Brendan Johnson, that was a fantastic transfer. And then the external, my team went from looking like it was falling apart to being semi-functional again. And Dominic Solanke got 32 points for Joey last week, and I still beat him. So happy days. But back onto the Shenanigans for a moment. After Jack picking up the bottom of the stairs, we had Gary and Kim trying to do some around the house aboutery with points trading and transferring.
What's this now? I mean, I hasten to point out crypto space and use Cavcoin. Cavcoin, guaranteed never to lose value. Until we're ready to do that, we have to stick with financial fair play and not be trading points because it just gets insane. Insane.
We have done it in the past.
Yeah. And it's always ended up with me getting in trouble because I will transfer my way into the playoffs at the expense of someone else, normally annoying Jimmy on the way. And it works. It works. So basically in the last 3 days, we've had 3 illegal transfers, basically, or 3 attempts of illegal transfers. There's been plenty of internal trading and backstabbing, and it's getting interesting.
Yeah. So where we do all going to have they've spoken about the history of the Math Apocalypse and exactly Jimmy right on cue. I think was it me and was it?
Why don't we trade points?
Was it me and Gary that it was between, or was it you and Gary? I feel
it was me and Gary.
Gary's always involved.
It was season 1, if I remember correctly, and there was a whole thing about trading Juan Mata, and then the trades just escalated until eventually myself and Gary, I traded all of my head-to-head points to him for all of his Champions League points. We were both mathematically champions somewhere around March, and realized that we probably needed to put some rules on these here transfers. Which we will forever attribute to the man who had nothing to do with any of it and has never heard any of us. Juan Mata, send one up. But yeah, the rules control the fun, boys. The rules control the fun. You know.
I mean,
0 points for Jimmy.
We have really been winging this league for like past.
Go there. I want to get everybody shirts, and when it's Jimmy's turn for a shirt, it's going to be Jimmy 0 points. Dean's obviously is going to be Dean's going to win the league. Gary's is going to be bananas.
Yeah.
And I'll figure out the rest in time.
It's got to happen. But yeah, I want to loop back on something there that you claimed, John. Just a quick fact check on your team being good.
It's good at the moment. Well,
it had a good week. You got 120 last week, which was quite good. Your transfer was brilliant. Brennan Johnson was a great man to bring in and then leave on the bench instead of the inexplicable sticking to Marcus Rashford, which at this point makes about as much sense as Fabian Schär. And last week, the week before that, you got 53.5, landing 1 point between your entire back four, and you played Sancho for some reason. So yeah, your team had a good week.
On, this was.
But let's not get all united here. We're back. We're back.
That was the lineup setting week. And yes, I am Manchester United. We are back, baby. We are back.
Every week is the lineup setting week, John. It's just some of it.
Exactly.
Us do it better than others.
The week before that, Jimmy, he had 50.
Yeah.
Can I propose a trade live in real time?
You can propose anything you want.
I don't think I want anything from you. Go on.
You do, though.
Make me an offer.
I want Joe Linton for John Stones.
I think I did offer Joe Linton to Gary yesterday.
Joe Linton for John Stones. John Stones is back from injury. City have no defenders. He's going to be playing for the next few weeks, and I need to vary up my midfield. That's what I'm looking to do.
Okay, well, he's not back next week anyway. He's back at the end of the month.
It's an international break.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
I don't think it is.
It is an international break. After this weekend, it's an international break.
All right, we'll talk offline.
I'll be honest, boys. Much like the cameraman at an adult film shoot, I'm the guy here trying to work out who exactly is getting fucked.
I think that's a good deal. I think that's a deal you need to pull the trigger on before the end of this.
I think that
We'll stay on track. Okay, we don't want to be.
Jimmy, I can make a similar offer to you. It'll be. Ooh, who do I want on your team? You're not going to give up Madison. No, you had your pants pulled down, and I tried to do a fast one, but no, you did a deal with the devil in terms of Jack. So come here. Anyway, would you part? Would you part with the bonds potentially?
I might if there was an offer made. Is there an offer forthcoming, sir?
Yeah, it would also be John Stones. These are the. I'm going to lay that on the table for both of you, and you can have a think about it and come back to me.
John Stones. Okay, so I'm just going to run maybe 4 episodes of the podcast past you. There's the one where we established that Pep can't be trusted.
Mm-hmm.
There's the one where defenders score low. There's the one where City defenders score particularly low. And I believe at some point, one of the weeks, I said, when in doubt, find 90 minutes. And you think the solution to this, for us, is a perennially crippled Man City defender who doesn't appear first team in the Premier League ever.
That's incorrect.
I had him all of last year. His day is done. He's fabulous. He's a great player, but Rico Lewis is doing that job this year.
They're all injured, and John Stones is back on the bench for this weekend.
Is he? He's back on the bench. Wow.
Yeah, and then it's an international break, and then he's back. And City have no defenders.
If he keeps going like this, he could even end up on the under-21 squad.
Well, they have no fit. They actually have no fit defenders long term right now, and they got spanked last night, so he's going to play.
He's going to play for Wales, not Wales.
English for a start.
He's going to play for England, maybe.
And he's not. He's not going on internationals. He's staying to get fit.
So he's got a fitness issue too.
Well, that's why he's been.
I thought you worked in sales.
That's why he's been out.
No, not Stones. Not Stones. The Stones displeases me, although I do like the symmetry of both of their names having 6 letters and ending with NES. Yes. That's the kind of thing that means a lot to me in this game. But no, John Stones can get in the fucking bin.
There's other options there on the table.
What about Saliba, John?
You can Saliba for Joelinton?
Absolutely.
You can get all kinds of fucked on that deal.
Absolutely.
You haven't started him for 3 weeks in a row?
Where he was suspended.
Longer?
What do we know about Arsenal's defence after Christmas?
Yeah, that's true.
That Saliba is wonderful, and I'll be keeping him. And Saliba stays. Calafiori could find a new home. James could find a new home. Carvalho could find a new home. Diallo could find a new home. Those are players on my team that are all available.
But this is the team that you have increased confidence in for some kind of price.
Everybody has players. Everybody has their players who are non-negotiables, and everybody has the players that they're willing to trade out.
Who are your non-negotiable? Rashford is still a non-negotiable, isn't he?
Pope is a non-negotiable. Trent's a non-negotiable. Mark Gahey's a non-negotiable. Smith Rowe's a non-negotiable. Bruno's a non-negotiable. Gakpo, Alisson, Saliba, and Manu. Everybody else is open to trade.
Sir, I hate to sneer from the top of the league or closer to it than you are, but if your top drawer players include Manu and Smith Rowe, I am absolutely confident.
Well, I'm in there now, and I will be staying there. And Smith Rowe is fantastic, and I will not have any slander to Smith Rowe. Smith Rowe is wonderful, and have you not seen Fulham? Fulham have been class, and Smith Rowe has been a major part of that, and he is beautiful. And actually, just on a side note about Fulham, they might have the weirdest Premier League squad. Did you hear that Alex Iwobi released a rap track during the week under the name 17, because that's his jersey number? So his rapper name is 17, and the song is called What's Love, and it's actually not shite.
This should be where we would be able to play it, but obviously copyright and DMCA stuff.
We won't be doing that.
We haven't quite ironed that out just yet, but if we're talking to Alex during the week, we'll run it by his people. I did not know that Alex Iwobi was a musician. That's interesting. He's a very good player, and he has been a very good player at some very sorry mid-tier teams for a long, long time. He has shone. He was outstanding at Everton as well. He just was in the wrong place and had a bit of an injury trouble through 22, I think. But he is another one of those attacking midfielders who, if the FPL game was a little bit stronger numerically, he's going to have like this 5.2 price tag. I haven't even checked lately, but I'd say he's going to have like a somewhere between 5 and 6 price tag. A 5.5, so like Traore kind of area.
Yeah.
That's ridiculous. Like, he is not a third as good as Erling Haaland. He's not, like, but Haaland is still 14 mil. But
he's 15 now.
He's 15, so he's going up.
I sold him. I sold him this week. I got rid of him.
I'm going to pull the trigger soon. I'd like Cole Palmer back. I miss Cole.
Yeah, but that's the trick over there. Like, you split the points and get 2 strong players in at about.
I don't think I joined your team, Jimmy, or your league, Jimmy. Am I not able anymore?
You can join the leagues at any point in time.
Dean, it's been 11 years. Has there ever been a league of mine that you weren't welcome in?
Mm-hmm.
It's been many years.
Will we move away from fantasy for a minute and talk about United news, as every football podcast in the entire world has to do at least once on every episode?
Cool, I'll take a nap.
Go on, Dane, take us away. Take the Manchester United big box. This is Manchester United.
Ruben Amorim. Happy, John?
I actually am. I've actually seen his teams play a couple of times from my brief period over in Lisbon last year. So I went to a couple of sporting games, and I like their style of football. I like the way he plays ball. He seems very cool, calm, collected, and he did an internship at Man United back in the day under Jose. So I think it's actually a very interesting one. But only thing I will say is, the English media being the way it is, the Man United Twitterati fan base being the way it is, communist Manchester, as I will forever call them, the page shills who will just go with, Ten Hag had to stay in, we love him. That whatever Twitter says, they follow. No, they will see a back three with Harry Maguire in the centre of it and go, when the fuck did we become Gareth Southgate's England? And he will be labelled this Portuguese Southgate by the end of the season, and it's just going to be sad because that's the way it is.
Will Maguire play now?
Very optimistic of you. I mean, no, in all seriousness, like, you're probably right. It goes deeper than just a manager, you know. But I mean, so will he bring the striker who had a hat trick yesterday against City with him in? Well, not in the winter, but next summer, do you think?
No, nor should they. Nor should they. Do you remember the last striker that somebody paid north of 80 million for the Portuguese league? And do you know how well he's doing in the league? Mr. Darwin, Dr. Chaos Nunes.
Yeah.
I was thinking more Anthony for United, which is considered arguably.
Well, he came from the Eredivisie, and his goal situation was terrible, as was Anthony at Ajax had, I think it was 10 goals and 6 assists in his final season when United spent all that money on him, which was really, really poor. But no, Gyökeres is not worth the value that they paid for him, or that they'll look for him. They're going to look for 80 to 100 mil for him. He's a good striker. He is a good striker, but there's very, very few strikers around right now who you should or would spend 80 million on. And they're probably
lacking up front, though.
Yeah, but the only couple of strikers in that price point that should be that price point are Victor Osimhen, Harry Kane still, even though he's on the wrong side of 30, Kylian Mbappe, and Erling Haaland. They'd be the only number 9s who should be over that 80 million price point. He's not in that bracket. He's the next bracket down. He's a Watkins.
Yeah.
He's...
John?
Yes?
Can I ask a transfer history question? Because I know a little thing that I've just spotted a pattern in, right? Now, again, not knowing much football, but United and big purchase strikers and the last 10 years, stop me when I hit the one that paid out. Martial, Pogba, Anthony, Højlund, Ronaldo. Which one worked out well?
Ronaldo was our top price.
Well, I can actually do the striker run for you. So,
okay.
In the last 10 years, is it?
Sure. Say in the span of the league.
Højlund, Xerxes, Højlund. Before that, it was Weghorst. fucking. You had what was your man's name from Watford? Oh, I can't remember his name. Anyway, then you had Cavani, Zlatan, Martial. You had Ronaldo, obviously, in that pocket. You would have had Lukaku, and you would have had. That's about it since Rooney and De Bois.
So one could argue that that's a fairly expensive lineup of virtually no goal scoring return for a team
Zlatan?
that should be top 6. Did Zlatan put him away?
In his first season, he put them very much away. In his second season, he blew
Oh,
it
and don't forget Falcao. Don't forget
That
Falcao.
was there. There was.
That
There
was a
was.
big letdown.
They're all letdowns, lads. I
I
don't know
know,
what it is,
yeah,
but they
but-
never seem to pick up they seem to pick up big names who are big names and then get there and don't do anything. Because all of those lads
Yeah,
have
but as a
proven
club now, they have
records.
this new structure in place. They've gone into the modern structure. So they've Dan Ashworth, Omar Barada, and Jason Wilcox overseeing the football side of the club. So Dan Ashworth's history would have been as technical director. So he would have done it initially for your beloved Brighton, by the way. Set up that model that Brighton run under. Went and worked with the FA, which was why all the Gareth Southgate things came to pass, because he would have had a very close working relationship with the FA. Went to Newcastle, set up that basically the team that Eddie Howe is using. And now he's at Man United. So he's a pretty good background there. Omar Barada was Barcelona director at one point, went to City in the same time as Tixie Bergstein and the boys, and essentially there was no upward trajectory for him at City, so came across the road for a promotion. And then Jason Wilcox headed up Youth Academy at Southampton and City. So City, he would have been over development to the likes of Phil Foden and this, that, and the other, and knows the Manchester catchment area, and then went and worked for Southampton as their technical director last season before he came to United. So there's your triad of kingmakers in the background of the Manchester United structure.
Cool, but who should they buy?
Not Victor Osimhen at 80 to 100 million.
There'll be someone else, like another unknown fella, like Xerxes. I don't know. I didn't know Xerxes and Hoyland anyway. Maybe you had, but big problem with United strikers is that they're really not getting any help from midfield. Like you got Garnacho trying to pull rings around everybody he can and just losing the ball every time. Rashford is often very poor for that. He might manage to dribble the ball into the box, but he'll never pass it off in the box if he has no chance at goal. Casemiro's found like a second wind, it seems. He's had a couple of good games in a row now.
He did.
But yeah, I mean, going forward, like the quality, I think only Southampton have scored less goals than us.
Yep.
And I think that's gone to about 2 or 3 now. Less goals only after we scored the weekend. But,
Yeah.
I mean,
So
No, Hoyland is getting a freakishly small amount of touches per game. So at the weekend against Chelsea, I think he touched the ball 3 times in the Chelsea box.
yeah,
you're not going to like this next
keen on
stat check, John. You're not going to like it at all. Do you know who the top 3 scoring United players are over the last fortnight?
Go ahead.
Well, Hoyland had a great. Oh, the 3 high scoring over the last fortnight. We're going to say
No surprise at number 1.
Onana.
Not at all. No. Bruno Fernandes is number 1 because it's always him or Garnacho, but Garnacho's not there this week. Second up is Casemiro.
Mm-hmm.
And third is Rasmus Højlund. That's strange. That's not like if you had a gun to your head and you had to pick United players, which is a problem the rest of us face, not the 2 of you. You're not taking those 3 if you have a choice. Usually,
I mean, I don't think
picking up an El Garnacho or a Mazraoui or Dion. It's just interesting to see their like Casemiro in particular. We were quite cruel to after game week 4. Visibly gave up on the pitch and just started walking home. But last couple of weeks he's been really strong. So and Kim picked him up this week, which I was quite happy to leave him gone and he would be just another discarded creature from the mighty aristocrats, and that would be the end we would hear of him for the season. But he seems to have got his head together, and good for him. Great. If he's listening, well done. I'm glad our motivational speech about you worked.
Yeah. So who was he? I'm just going to get up his. So Casemiro, 74 points so far this season. Like, it's not too bad. He only had 2 points last week, but the 2 weeks before that he had 23 and 18.5. So, I mean, I don't think any other player really got many points last week. That was a desperate game of football.
No, he's been pacing very well the last couple of weeks. He's definitely improved, but he didn't like Eric Ten Hag. There was a lot of stories of the two of them having a fallout, and when he wasn't selected in the FA Cup squad, he went home and stuff like that. So there is rumors of that Casemiro and Varane weren't having Ten Hag come the end of last season. They were
Okay.
Interesting.
Well, Varane was crocked anyway, wasn't he?
Well, he went and signed a deal with Como, got injured on his first game, and went, you know what, I'm done at 30. He was only 31. He was way younger than people gave him credit for.
I know.
I thought he was
playing at the top shelf at 17.
Good player.
Yeah. And he just...
I'm fairly certain he was 19 playing his first of like 7 Champions League finals.
Jesus. Yeah.
7?
Yeah.
What, Real? Okay.
I've
also, that's another new football thing I've learned. If you're ever not sure how the number makes sense, just guess, is it Real?
Yeah.
10.
The Champions League seems to be their kind of...
What was it? 18% of all Champions Leagues won in history have been won by Real Madrid.
I mean, if you go back to like the early days of the European Championship when it actually started, like in the early 1900s, they just win like 15 in a row. Like, it's like, they were the only ones like competing like
themselves.
for the first couple of decades.
Benfica are up there as well.
Yeah.
What, like the Eusebio team?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, but back in the day, they would have been one of the same at Celtic. Celtic were big chops back in the day. I don't know.
Yeah, Celtic were one of the. I think they were the first team in Europe to win. What is it? A quintuple. So they won like their league, the cup, European Cup, Club World Cup, and
to do the clean sweep of whatever was in front of the season.
Yeah, basically like City a couple of years ago, except they didn't do the. Did Liverpool do the Club World Cup that year? I think maybe. Speaking of Club World Cups, actually, will we speak about the upcoming new?
Yes, I've heard about this. It's very exciting. It seems that like the
also
most overworked people in the world
bollocks.
they've just landed another tournament on because there wasn't enough football. Being as there is already football 71 weeks a year, they've added more. Who qualifies, boys?
They're just handpicked, are they?
No, so you've got basically the championship winners of each continent. So you have the Champions League winners. You'd have the Copa Libertadores winners, which is the South American equivalent. You would have had the North American one, which is like Mexico, Canada, US. It's the CONMEBOL or something like that.
CONMEBOL.
Yeah. I know.
And then you have the Australasian one. So each of those teams would be invited, and then it used to be done on coefficient. Now it's done on 3 special invite teams to fill up the gaps so that they can also get a couple more games. So naturally, guess what? Teams get invited. Inter Miami's team that happens to be owned by David Beckham and happens to have, I don't know, Lionel fucking Messi on the team. The club exists 3 years, but they get an invite because will it sell TV revenue?
And will they get one more game of Messi versus Ronaldo? That is what they're praying for.
Oh yeah, Al Nassr happened to have got a seat at that table for the year.
Yeah.
Really?
And they just got knocked out of their club championship this year. And are they doing any good in the league? I have no idea, and I'm not checking.
Let me pull up the exact list of teams. Carry on about your day.
But yeah, like you were saying, Jimmy, it's just such a money racket to get more and more money into players. Like,
it feels it, yeah.
Yeah, you gotta wonder, like, squad's gonna get bigger to like be like, because didn't the UEFA or FIFA came out saying that they have to bring their strongest team? So like, City can't no team can send a weakened team like their B team.
Well, you have to send 25-man panels. So as long as you're sending like 16 of your of what would be your recognized squad, you're good.
I was about to say something really stupid in this room. I was about to say who gets to decide who City's best squad is, but then we all try to do that every week.
Yeah.
I would think it's pretty unenforceable to demand
this
which
is
players
way
are on the
bigger.
pitch.
This is actually way bigger.
Well,
Sorry,
they
this
said
is
that
way
they
bigger
feel
than
like.
I thought.
Oh,
Go on.
This isn't right, is it?
Can you share a screen?
No,
definitely not.
absolutely not. I'm lost. So, oh no, I'm right. Fuck. Jesus fucking Christ. The FIFA Club World Cup 2025. There's
Yes.
32 teams in it. It's a World Cup. At the end of the season, so you have 4 African teams, 4 Asian teams, 12 European teams, Oceania team, South American team, a host country, and oh Jesus Christ! So you'll have. This is insanity.
It's gonna be 63 games. Like it's a full-on World Cup. Like
In the summer, and it's
in America.
You've got Al Ali, Wayad, Tunisia, Mamelodi Sundowns from South Africa. I should have worn mine. I am actually wearing a jersey from that neck of the world. But anyway, I can't say that word. The Red Diamonds from Japan, Chelsea,
Urawa.
Madrid, City, Bayern, Inter, PSG, Porto, Benfica, Borussia Dortmund, Juve, Atletico Madrid, Red Bull Salzburg, Monterrey in Mexico, the Seattle Sounders from the States, Club Leon from Mexico, Pachua from Mexico, Auckland City from New Zealand, Palmeiras from Brazil, Flamengo from Brazil, Fluminense from Brazil, River Plate, Boca Juniors from Argentina, and Inter Miami from the USA. What the absolute living fucking Christ.
So who the hell knows? Like Monterrey's strongest team. You know, like, are they going to get fined? Like, they said they're going to fine them $500,000, I think it was. I mean, imagine City just rocking up with, like, their C team, and they're like, you're being fined $500,000. It's like, here, take it.
I'm sure City wouldn't care, but they would still bring them because advertising revenue.
Yeah.
And sponsorship opportunities.
Uh-huh.
Who cares about the players' knees? I'm in a rhyming buzz today.
I'm going to be backing Monterrey in this one, I think.
Yeah. So 32 teams are going to play.
Yeah,
and
the 2021
Real
CONCACAF
Madrid are going to
champions.
win because that's how football works.
And is the Euros not on next year? No, the Euros is this
summer.
summer.
This summer is supposed to be your free summer.
Yeah, and then the year after is the World Cup. Yeah.
Then you have the USA World Cup in 26. Yeah.
Damn. So next summer there was no World Cup, there's no Euros, there's no Olympics. It was literally nothing. We had nothing going on next
Now
summer.
you have the Club World Cup.
Yeah. Do you know what?
I know we're going to bitch about, but we're going to watch it.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Do you know?
I mean, we all bitched about the World Cup being in Qatar, and it was the best World Cup of all time. It was so good.
It wasn't the best World Cup of all time.
Well, it's regularly voted as the best World Cup of all time. And I thought it was a very, very good World Cup.
It was
This feels like a moment for a fact check. I'm going to see how many people have voted for the
It exists.
Qatar World Cup as the greatest World Cup of all time. World Cup.
Do.
Best World Cup?
I would have said the South African Jabulani era with that wild football in England getting knocked out and sent home early.
What? Which year was that?
The 2000. Oh fuck! Was it 06?
Was that against
06 in Germany?
Yeah.
So
what was it that Iceland knocked them out of? Was that the World Cup as well, or was that the Euros?
Euros.
Yeah, that was pretty pathetic.
Euros.
Yeah. Seen as the best World Cup of all time. That statement was indeed made shortly after the end of said World Cup by Gianni Infantino. That I can find no evidence of anyone calling Qatar the best World Cup, and that's the guy. You know the guy. You know the guy I'm talking about.
Yes.
Yes, he was a great meme.
Yes.
He was inside out level cringe. That's the only person who thinks Qatar was the best World Cup.
Well, I'm sure if you dig fast enough, you'll find some forums.
Apparently. So we'll carry on. And there's a lot of people on Reddit dismissing the idea as well. I'm going to have a look at that. I was alive for, because it's more than you think. Qatar.
There's been some good ones. Look, it's all subjective based on how you're.
This is not the best World Cups of all time.
The best World Cup of all time.
It's all subjective based on which ones you remember. Most recent World Cups of all time, as those top 10s always tend to be. Awful thing. There was a point 2020. He's only been around for like a minute, you know? It was Romario 20 minutes before that. And before it was Zidane 5 minutes before that, and or the other way around. And it's like this stuff is very, very of the moment. I think these
in football, well, like Joe, I know what you're saying, that the best player in the world, that changed every 5 minutes. But I think, do you know what's sad for me? I know I'm going to have my old man pegging my day. I think football has actually become too athletic. And I know it's good, like tactically better, this, that, and the other, but the purity of the madman of, like, you're never going to see a Ronaldinho again. You're never going to see a young Ronaldo with the tricks and flicks in the pocket. You're never going to see
Vinnie Jones,
a Kaká. Like, I know every era has had standout mavericks, the outliers, but you're not going to see a fat bollocks like Matt Letizia who's going to ping on top ins because he couldn't be fucked to run.
You certainly won't see a third-tier attacking midfielder for Newcastle landing one of the sexiest finishes of the ball I've seen in a decade.
Oh, Paul, that was
his second goal this weekend.
Or no, the second goal was the header.
Wilson.
The first goal was, Wilson. The first goal was the flick. There were two quality goals. First one was the flick, Second one was a really good header.
The flick was absolutely audacious.
Are we into that part where we talk about last week's football and some of the quality of the goals of last week's football? Are we doing that? Are we doing that? Can I talk about it? Can I mention it?
What do you want to talk about, John?
I want to talk about the Welsh wizard that is Harry Wilson.
Yeah. Are you going to trade him in, John?
So easily. Go on.
Trade him in.
No, I'm not going to trade him in because I know he'll break my heart. But did you see those goals?
Yeah, they were two great goals.
The first one was absolutely delicious. Goal of the season contender in a game that had 2 goal of the season contenders in it, might I add, because the Brentford goal was an absolute thundercracker. But that finish outside the boot, flick it over the roof into the far corner. Oh, what a goal. And then 4 minutes later, bullet header, bang, 2-1, turn it around. Fella hasn't played a game of football all season because Adama Traore's been too busy being super oily man. Alex Iwobi's been class. And you haven't needed any of this.
Wilson, that goal with the flick to someone who, as we all know, did not play a lot of football for a very long time. That flick is the kind of thing that watching it, the first couple intentional, there's no way he has that level of skill and he's not on the pitch every week. And then you play it another couple of times and you realize there's no way he didn't do that on purpose, because that second timing to go around a guy who is like probably 20 stone of.
Didn't Haaland have a similar goal a couple of weeks ago?
Great goal.
But there's always those ones where there is some wonderful goals. That's the beauty of it, but that's a special one. You get your Giroud goal, like the scorpion kick. Was it Henrik Mkhitaryan who scored one the week before and just ruined all of it for both of them because they're something you see so rarely?
Yeah.
That's in that kind of bracket. It's the halfway line goal. Wayne Rooney was a master for it. I think we saw 3 in his career. But it's not like you see someone do that, because Eddie Nketiah could have done it last week and then he shit the bed because he's criminally overrated at Crystal Palace, because only Fulham by the good Arsenal shrapnel.
I'm going to have a quick look at his number.
Good Arsenal shrapnel, and we now have a reform for it. And Burnt Leno, Smith Rowe, Iwobi.
It looks like
Yeah, I'm just looking at the numbers there. It's not 25 in the last 4 weeks, which means he only played 3 of the last 4 games as well. And he's now a hamstring risk as well. So not an asset I'd be rushing out to pick up.
He always is, but it doesn't matter. It was wonderful. Didn't go on. What were you going to say?
It looks like Hala's starting to find a bit of or Salah's looking to find a bit of form. He's been quiet for a while. He was a bit slow to get off the mark, I think. But I think he's at 2 or 3 goals in 3 games now.
Swiftly moving on because I don't want to look at
Yeah,
Jimmy's smug face about it.
Hey, here's one. Guess who's averaged over 100 points from their starting lineup for the last 5 weeks? Oh, Salah and Mbuemo, lads. I cannot believe you people let me get away with that.
Here's one for you, a stat I heard during the week. Because we do love stats here at Statr and the Statrcast and our stats and our data. Since Mo Salah signed for Liverpool, he on his own has scored more goals than Arsenal Football Club.
Wow.
God damn.
I heard that went, there's no fucking way. And turns out, yeah, fucking way.
That is obscene. That's it. He's at, what is that, 140 goals or something?
Both for Arsenal.
147 goals in his 6 years or whatever. Mad number, whatever it was. I was just like, what? It was genuinely like Salah's numbers since he's come into the Premier League well, not even since he's come into the Premier League, because he did exist at Chelsea when they sold him and Kevin De Bruyne in the same summer. Anyway. Oh, Jimmy, you don't know about this Chelsea team?
Oh, no, I do. I heard John Terry discussing it and offering up the excuse that those two lads needed to leave and go to other teams so that they could come back to the Premier League. And it was like,
yeah.
Still looks like an awful lot to let slip through your fingers there, buddy.
Yeah, we also had Romelu Lukaku at the time. And
I don't think they would have worked together, though, De Bruyne and Salah. I think possibly, and give me some space here, Salah likes the ball at his feet and De Bruyne likes getting it the fuck away from them as quickly as possible. And they would have been overlapping in position quite a bit.
That is underappreciating Kevin De Bruyne massively. And again,
probably.
I'm not a City fan. I'm not a Liverpool fan. And to be honest, I would not be a fan of either of their fan bases. City are new money fan base and children, and Liverpool are Gary's. And we can't be having
I have to point out there was a karma strike on behalf of Liverpool this week. I mocked the Liverpool accent 2 weeks ago, and then Liverpool beat Brighton twice in 1 week. So I think Liverpool are fine. Their fans are grand.
Yeah, no, I'm not having it. So yeah, like, just no.
Arsenal lost as well to Newcastle. That's going to have some and they got away with murder because City lost to Bournemouth, so they got away with murder with that. But I still fancy. I think Liverpool are going to go on to win the whole thing.
City are in major trouble as well since the Rodri injury. That is the second time that they've lost 3 in a row in Pep's reign. First time since his first season. Yeah. And the battering they took last night from Sporting is the second biggest loss he's had since his first season in charge.
Yeah.
Gary was right. And I took the piss out of him for saying City were vulnerable, and then they lost 3.
De Bruyne back? Isn't De Bruyne back now soon, the next week or two? So
he came off the bench last night for the last 10 minutes.
Okay, well, they might be able to deliver a bit more to Haaland, but yeah, it's been pretty sweet to see. Like, I don't know if the league will be won with 90+ points this year for the first time.
I don't think so. I think we're going to see our lowest one in a while,
which I'm very much enjoying. Really makes for a better league, doesn't it? When there's no one that's unbeatable.
Like, we're 10 games in, and it's been a while since you've been 10 games in where a team like Nottingham Forest are third in the table. You're looking down as far as 12th in the league and going, this picture from 2nd to 12th can change in one match week with the right results. Like, Fulham are in 12th, but they're 3 points off of Champions League places, which is bananas. United are in 13th place. Chelsea are somehow a functional football team again. And City are, for the first time in 5 years, actually vulnerable.
Yeah.
City, Liverpool.
It's great to see. Speaking of,
And inevitably, Arsenal win fuck all, and Arsenal fans will still have plenty to say about Mikel Arteta being the new coming of Jesus, and he'll have still, at the end of this season, have won less trophies than a man who was sacked and no longer works in the Premier League. But continue.
He didn't call you back then, no? Left you on red, did he?
But speaking as there's always kind of like one like underdog team that pops up every season that just goes on a run. Like last season, last couple of seasons it's been Villa, but this season like Nottingham in third place. Like I mean, you'd say something if it was fifth or even sixth, but third place. We know they'll fall off eventually, but still, can we give them a bit of credit?
Espirito Santos, what a man!
Yeah, but you know what? I feel like I'm in the same position as a lot of.
Do you want to know his weird little stat? And Jimmy, you can by all means fact check this one.
Go on.
You know he has won the Euros with Portugal while being while having no caps to his name. He was their third choice goalkeeper for years. So he actually never stepped foot on the pitch for Portugal, but he's got a medal.
Jesus.
Excellent.
But I feel like I'm in the same position as a lot of fantasy players where I have Hudson-Odoi, and I'm sure other people have the likes of Wood and whoever else, but they're kind of like wondering when are the wheels going to fall off? Like is it a bad idea to bring a player in now, or do you just kind of like hope that the gravy train is over and they'll go on a bad run?
Well, Dean, it's almost as if there's a place where you could read an article about our recommended top picks.
Well, I do read your articles.
That was what's called a soft layup.
I was looking for like a nice. You're just like, nah, fuck you. I read your shit. What do you want from me?
Yes. Just for those who don't want to read your shit.
People should, because we know what we're talking about. And my top picks were Taiwo Awanioni, Morgan Gibbs-White, and Chris the Diesel Truck Wood.
Yeah, brought Chris Wood in on the site last week, wasn't disappointed. Brought Morgan Gibbs-White in on Tlube 2 weeks before because Dean dropped him in a huff because he got suspended for 2 games.
John, did you also say Awani?
Yeah.
He's got 3.5 points this season, so maybe not.
He's been injured, but he's always an interesting one to keep an eye on.
Well, I had him earlier in the season, and I dropped him after about 3 weeks.
Elliot Anderson's been doing bits, but he won't be a big points hauler. You have...
Do you know what's disappointing is when there's like a lifelong bankable fantasy football asset, and he gets to that point in his career where he goes one transfer too far, and then you have that nearly nothing season. And I'm talking about the legend of Southampton, West Ham, probably a couple other spots, James Ward-Prowse. Nothing happening at Forest. It's a shame, but I think that squad is just very crowded in midfield.
He's made a couple of bad moves in the last 2 years.
Yeah, well, he did all right. West Ham. He wasn't a bad player. He was getting his game time.
Bad player, but he was never going to get the game time.
I think would I be right in saying that he was their kind of halfway replacement for Rice, and it just didn't really
part of a wider plan? But yeah.
There's a team who are absolute rubbish this year.
I just want to see one more James Ward-Prowse free kick, so he gets that record and goes down as God of free kicks, because it will be criminal. And I'm willing to say this. It will be criminal if that man goes to the end of his Premier League career without taking that record. He can sit on someone's bench for the next 5 years and just come on for occasional free kicks just so that someone can pay to play. I don't care. Give him one of those contracts where it's like an NFL kicker that he just comes on to deliver set pieces and fucks off the pitch again. But I want to see him get that one free kick that sets him that record, because he did it like Beck's played for many years in the Premier League and at the top end where they would have had many, many opportunities for this. Ward-Prowse did it playing with shrapnel.
Yeah, no, it would be good to see. How many free kicks would it be?
The record, Why did you put me on the
I
spot?
gotcha.
It's almost as if I should have had that noted for myself. It's 18 is what Beckham had, and James Ward-Prowse is on 17.
Okay, so
Sorry,
he needs 2 to break the
17.
record.
He needs 2.
Yeah.
Okay. Speaking of having things in front of you, John,
Yes,
do you have the
indeed.
correct answers to this week's quiz? Did you fact check your old
that
quiz
was
this week?
See, Dean, see, Dean, see, do you know the way you're going to do that transfer across into the tangent? That's how you do it. 'Cause, Jimmy, give us the song.
John, do the quiz, John. Do the quiz, John. Do the quiz, do the quiz, do the quiz, John. Do the quiz.
Okay, so 10 questions. We have no Gary this week, so it's
This
just you
could
two.
get ugly because Gary's a whiz at these things, and myself and Jimmy just
Well,
got
I'm
faded to the
useless. I
background.
Yeah,
I
this
haven't a
has
clue.
potential to be the worst quiz of all time. I'd like to say I tried to make the questions easier, but I have no faith in either of you. So, who has completed the most passes in the Premier League this season with 822 passes?
Lewis Dunk.
No.
The most passive. Well, we just say since there's only 2 of us, we can just
We'll
No,
just back
I
and
will
forth.
tell you when you're back in.
okay.
No.
Rules are rules, Dean, and unlike Jimmy, what Jimmy might say, they are not made to be broken. Criminal.
Casemiro?
No, not who? Did you just say Casemiro?
Yeah, I mean he's in centre
Come
midfield
on,
for most
yourself.
games.
That would require Manchester United to have the ball. You're back in.
Completed the most passes. Completed the most passes. Completed the most.
Like it's
passes.
gonna be some like small, gammy fucking team now.
Morgan Gibbs White.
No.
Declan Rice?
No. It is Jan Bednarik with 822. Second is Virgil van Dijk with 803 and Romero with 786.
Jesus.
I was gonna go Verge next, but
Yeah.
would never got Bednarik.
That's football
No.
for you. Defenders make passes now, not midfielders. Right. What club has scored the most goals in the league this season? Highest goal scoring team?
City.
No.
Liverpool.
No.
Arsenal.
No.
Jesus.
No.
Villa?
No. Oh
Chelsea.
God, I'm going to have to let this run.
I
because-
know.
Go on, Jimmy.
It's Spurs.
Yes. 1-0, Jimmy.
Jesus.
22 goals after shellacking Villa at the weekend, doing bad things to them. And then City with 21 and Chelsea with 20.
Yeah.
We've got a manager career path question for you guys.
Oh man. Go on.
I have managed Arezzo, Bari, Atalanta, Siena, Juventus, Italy, Chelsea, Inter Milan, Tottenham Hotspurs, and Napoli.
Ranieri.
No.
Um,
Unsurprisingly, they are Italian.
is that in order? Yeah. That's
Yeah.
yeah.
The current Napoli manager.
I've tried to think of and he was with who before? Spur. Just call it out again. Call it out again.
Arezzo, Bari, Atalanta, Siena, Juventus, Italy, Chelsea, Inter Milan, Tottenham Hotspurs, and Napoli.
Conte.
Yeah.
Conte. There you go,
Yeah.
Dean. One apiece. What player has missed the most big chance? What player has the most big chance misses this season?
Marcus Rashford.
No.
Haaland.
No.
Hasn't he? He's fucking.
Who has been the most wasteful striker this season?
Jesus.
No.
Højlund.
Playing enough. No.
Jesus. Okay, a team that's actually getting shots on target and one that just isn't netting them.
Yeah. They're on a good functioning team.
Jackson?
No.
I said a good functioning team. I didn't say Chelsea.
So it is a striker, you said
Yes.
earlier, didn't you?
I'm going to have to give it a countdown at some point here, boys.
I got nothing, boys.
You are going to be disgusted with both of yourselves when you hear the answer. 5,
Go on, counter down. Go on.
4, 3, 2, 1. Ollie Watkins
Oh shit! I wouldn't have gotten that, to be honest.
with 10 big misses. Second, Erling Haaland with 8, and Dominic Calvert-Lewin in third with 7.
Fuck.
Who had the fewest Premier League points to win the title?
Leicester.
No.
Oh, they really dominated that league, didn't they? They were fucking winning every week.
No, they had one of the lowest points totals of anything.
It was low, but it wasn't the lowest.
It wasn't the
Blackburn?
lowest.
No. In
Chelsea.
that pocket of time, though.
Chelsea.
No.
United.
Yeah.
Yeah, statistically, I suppose they fucking won what, 13?
Statistically,
Like,
it would have been a good one. Yeah, 75 points in the 96-97 season.
Jesus, fucking
Good
hell, they
times.
won it.
Good times.
Where are we at? So we're at...
Oh.
Dean is 2-1 up.
Yeah.
2-1 up. Question 6. We have... What player scored 2 goals in injury time in the last game week just gone?
Wilson.
Harry Wilson. Ding, ding, ding. It's almost as if we talked about that.
Speed matters too. Well done, Dino.
What player scored the highest points on Statr last week?
Bruno.
Who?
Sri Lanka.
Sri Lanka.
It was.
Yeah.
Dean, you're going to
feeling.
run away with this one. I have a career path question for you. This is a player career path question, and I really hope you get it.
Oh, we'll be
Yeah.
fine so.
I have played for Mets, Newcastle, Fulham, Manchester United, Everton, Tottenham Hotspurs, Sunderland, and Lazio.
Jesus. Richarlison? Or Richardson?
Richardson, the fullback fella, is it? No.
Yeah.
No. He started at Manchester United. So this fella played for Mets,
Okay,
which would be France.
Yeah.
Newcastle, Fulham, United, Everton, Tottenham, Sunderland, and Lazio. Wonderful player, hamstrings made of crepe paper.
Which decade are we
Injury.
talking? Which decade are we talking?
2000s.
I was drinking.
He's French.
I don't know.
He's French.
Lazio. I'm trying to think of a French player that plays for Lazio right now that used to play for United.
They don't play anymore.
Oh,
It's the
Varane.
early 2000s here we're talking.
Varane?
No.
Emmanuel Petit.
No.
I don't know. Go on.
Louis Saha.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
He ran the. Did he run the length of the pitch against Arsenal or with Arsenal?
That's
Against
Adebayor.
Adebayor. Sorry. Yeah.
This quiz was a bad idea. I need Gary back. Okay, who is the only active player in the top 10 all-time goal-scoring charts in the Premier League? Only active player.
Salah.
Yep.
Oh.
There you go, Jimmy. I tried to make this one easier and make it topics that we'd be talking about today.
So this is actually like, okay, you've got to the end of the podcast. Now it's time for the test.
Yes.
Were you paying attention?
I feel like the school teacher this week. Have you been listening? Anyway, last question, and Dean's won this, so who cares? What a fucking waste of time. I'm sorry.
He's going to win the quiz.
He's gonna win the quiz. Get that on the front of the t-shirt. In our very own Statr League, Tlug, which team scored the least amount of points this match week, yet still won their fixture?
Lowest scoring win.
Lowest scoring win.
Old
Demo.
Republic.
No and no.
Dermot.
No.
Gary.
No, Gary lost.
You?
Gary lost that game. No, I had the highest overall points total this week. Do you know what? You've gone through everybody else, so it's fucking Dave. Dave beat Gary Gary got 58.75. Dave got 82.7.
I'm going to deal with Dave
Okay.
next week, and I'll tell you why. Right.
Yeah.
Aside from my attempts to like throw my face into the lava just to get a good tan of the illegality in the late save with Jack, there are three
Bullshit,
teams
by the way,
still.
and he has put a giant target on his back from everybody else in the league. Jack is
Three
going
teams
down.
so far this year still in the 1K club. Nobody has joined us. Nobody's over 900 except for Jack, and now myself and my brother are on 1270 something each. He's a point and a third higher than me, and Dave is on 1186,
Impressive.
and that will be fine. Except they don't draft, boys. I don't like it when they're not there for the draft. Well, there are a lot of things that people are going to learn about fantasy football on this little Statr draft journey with us, but one of the most important ones is, the draft? You're not getting married that day. You're not going to work that day.
The draft is
You're
life.
not getting out of prison that day.
The draft
She can
life,
stand there at the top of the aisle and wait for you until you draft. And if you don't draft, you're nothing.
I do love draft night, though. You get everybody online or in person in a pub, pizzas, beers, and screaming at each other about terrible picks. And it's always wonderful then when Dean inevitably shits the bed and picks Martin Dubravka.
Has anyone picked Aguero yet, lads? Did anyone pick Aguero yet? But Tales of Draft, I think, is for another night, perhaps. Do we have results in the quiz?
Dean won. Yeah, it's fine. Dean won the quiz.
Let's do it in a row now.
Dean won
Oh,
the
that-
quiz.
I think it's 2-1-1 to me now, or maybe 2-2-1. Me,
Okay.
Gary, and
Gary's
Can
got-
I leave you the gentlemen this week with a balls out prediction?
yeah.
Form is about to pick up, and a certain run of form is about to continue, and I think Man City are going to be beaten at the Amex on Saturday afternoon.
Interesting.
And I will be cheering my beloved Seagulls on from beginning to end, and that will be broadcast live on. No, I won't. But would love
Well,
to
you're
see
gonna go.
Brighton.
Wait. Oh, hold on. Are you going to do a watch along on the tiki talkie box of you getting sad when City?
I'm not going to do it. I might do a watch along on the Tiki Talkie box. It depends which Tiki Talkie box I'm in front of, but that may be a plan that we could cook up over the next few days.
Yeah.
But a watch along on the Tiki Talkie box would be very funny because I would be simultaneously a gaming streamer and a football streamer because I would have to have the two at once. I tend to multi-screen my football. Football happens over here. The games happen right here in front of me, and the camera does all of this. So maybe a watch along, maybe, or maybe that's high risk because it is still City.
Which is why I think I will join you because it'll be fun for me to watch you be sad. Anyway,
On
that note, let's figure out Jimmy being sad later. Dean, did you think about the transfer?
I'm not going to go along with it because Stones has had a terrible history in points over the last few years. So no, thank you. I think he's gotten like maximum 150 points in like the last 3 years. So that's not in my boathouse.